We are back. We are back. We are back. Good morning again, y'all. Good morning again. What up, Keisha, Londa, Tracy, Pamela, Lisa, Sheila, Kenya, Stephanie, Shirley? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? As we are going through this season of the Daniel fast, we are using Facebook a little bit. But when we get through this, we're going to go back to strictly YouTube again. But just for, they told me as we go through the Daniel fast, let's push. Anyway, good morning again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All righty. So, teamwork makes the dream work. We started last day with teamwork. And today we're going to finish this up and pretty much be done with my mindset series. Here's what I want you to do. And this is just a concept. By the way, was yesterday helpful in reference to time that you have to focus your energy on the things that give you the highest per dollar return on your investment, ROI, versus doing things that are below your level. Not saying you cannot do it. It's just not the best use of your time. You have to make sure that if you are a doctor, you want to see patients. If you're a lawyer, you want to be working with clients. If you're a mechanic, you want to be on a car, because those things will give you the highest rate of return for your time. If you're a pilot, you want to be in a plane. You don't want to be in an airport. You want to be in a plane. So the mindset is, whatever it is that I do, I want to make sure I do the thing that gives me the highest rate of return on my time the most. That's it. So it's a mentality and a mindset that you have to have in place if you want to take your income and your life to the next level. Now, what I want to talk about today, you have to understand and identify, do you have the right people in your life? Do you have the right people in your life? Some people are not good for you. You like them and your friends, but they are not going to push you to where you need to be. Emotions are transferable. Come on, put that in the chat. Emotions are transferable. I see this very often in the church. What do you mean? Example, one person has an issue. Let me ask you a question. One person has an issue with you. Does it stay there? Or does that person tell other people, and then a whole bunch of people have an issue with you? Y'all tell me, y'all know, tell me what happened. One person has an issue, and versus working with, the Bible says go to them, that issue bleeds into other people. Emotions are transferable. So you have to understand, when someone has negative emotions, if you allow yourself to internalize, receive, feed off of that, before you know it, you will agree with them. I remember years ago, it was a situation where one person had a problem with another person, okay? So we decided to have a meeting to deal with this. That's what you're supposed to do, Bible. And in the meeting, the person who had the biggest issue said, "No, I'm good." And then one of their friends looked at them and said, "All this you said, now you..." And the brother came to me after and said, "Man, I would have never thought." I said, "Well, it's amazing that you drank that person's poison and now you're sick. So you have to be careful who you allow to speak into your ear. Because what happens, their issue becomes your issue. Do you know how many fights have happened because you allowed some person to get in your ear? Here's what happens. If you allow someone in your ear, they get in your head. If they get in your head, they get in your heart. If they get in your heart, it will come out of your mouth. I'm going to repeat, and this is biblical. The goal is to get in your ear. If they get in your ear, they'll get in your head. If they get in your head, they'll get in your heart. If it gets in your heart, it's going to come out your mouth. So you have to ask yourself the question, who am I allowing in my ear? Emotions are transferable. On January 6th, 2 years ago, we saw some individuals bum rush the Capitol. Okay? whatever justification they use, it was wrong. Okay? But guess what happened? Not everybody was intent on going through. But what happened? Emotions are transferable. Go to a football game. They have these people called cheerleaders. Cheerleaders. What is their goal? Their goal is to transfer their emotion to you. If you've ever been to a high school basketball game, you got it, you got it. And they, you know what? you bad. And they do all this clapping stuff, right? And before you know it, or if a team is down, they'll say, defense, what happens? Or if you're at a big game, they do the wave. Now, you may not want to stand up and do the wave, but when all them people are coming at you like this, what happens? Emotions are transferable. The reason why I'm harping on this, if you have the wrong people in your ear, you will become offended, angry, small-minded, negative, because you're surrounding yourself with people like that. Now, the things that you dreamed and aspire for, your mentality is shifted. Pastor, give me some Bible. The Bible says that God called a man named Moses. And Moses was to pick 12 spies to go out and scout the promised land, the Canaan land. They came back with a report. The grapes are what you say. The land is what you say. But 10 talked about the giants. 2 talked about the land. 10 talked about the giants. 2 talked about the land. Joshua and Caleb believed. The other 10 were talking about why we can't do it. 2 million people couldn't enter the promised land because they allowed the wrong people in their ear, because emotions are transferable. It is critical that you ask yourself the question, who in your life is speaking life? Who in your life is speaking promotion? Who in your life is speaking to the best of you? Who in your life is calling the king out of you? Who in your life is calling the queen out of you? And those are the people you need to surround yourself with. Because if you surround yourself with small thinkers, they will kill your dream. They will kill your vision. And you know I'm telling you the truth. You had a great idea and you told it to the wrong person. And that joker blew your whole plan up. You lost confidence. You lost faith because you allowed the wrong people to speak into your life. Emotions are transferable. Surround yourself with a winning team. How about this? Football coaches, professional football coaches, they will often room a good player with a good player. Now, at the highest levels, you have your own room, okay? But before you get to the highest levels, or you may not be a superstar yet, you may have to share a room, okay? They will not put a great player with an average player. Why? Emotions are transferable. They don't want nothing average around that great player. They don't want nothing bringing that great player down. So they have already figured out the teams with the most money in the world. These NFL teams are billion-dollar organizations. They will not put a great player with a bad player in the same room. Will not do it. Why? They have figured out that emotions are transferable. Winners hang with winners. So you have to ask yourself the question, who in my crew need to go? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. Change begins with you. If you want a different result, you're going to have to do something different. If you want to change your net worth, you're going to have to change your network. Say that again. If you want to change your net worth, you're going to have to change your network. Now, I'm not saying not to love people. I'm not saying not to love people. I'm saying I have to identify who I give my time to. I have to identify I cannot spend the weekend with you. I can spend an hour with you, 20 minutes with you, but I cannot give you the whole weekend like I used to, because I see that you are spiraling. I see that you don't want the life I want. I see that you bring out bad habits in me. Okay, let's say it another way. Anybody has a friend that cuss a lot? Come on. Anybody has a friend that cuss a lot or drink a lot or smoke a lot? Raise your hands. Come on. Just say yes. I ain't saying it's you. I'm not saying it's you. Don't get sensitive. Anybody has a friend that has a strong vice. Cussing, drinking, smoking, sexing, whatever it is, they got a strong vice. Anybody have that friend? Have you noticed that when you're around them, if you're not careful, you start cussing like they cuss? And oftentimes you cuss to connect because you think all they know is cussing. So you got to cuss back so they can understand you. Because if you just talk regular to them, they don't get it. So you have to cuss them so that they can understand. You're trying to connect with them by cussing back at them. Have you noticed that all of a sudden your vernacular changes to meet them where they are? So now before you know it, you have one drink because you know they drink. You have one puff just to connect, not realizing they have a greater influence on you than you have on them. Let me say it this way. If you're not careful, they will have you drunk or high before you have them changed. Meaning they changed you. You didn't change them. So you have to ask yourself the question, is this helping me? Is this an environment I need to be in? Is it toxic? In Mississippi, where Jackson State was, the players could not drink the water. Well, anybody in Jackson, Mississippi couldn't drink the water. Happened in Michigan too. And you could be a great person. You could love God, be faithful, and all this stuff. But you could not drink the water because the water would infect you. The water would make you sick. So you could have good goals, good dreams, good motive, a good heart. But if you're drinking from the wrong water, you're going to be infected. Boy. So ask yourself the question, who is my source of information? Who is the motivating factor in my life? Who makes me feel better about myself after I spend time with them? Who discourages me and makes me feel down when I talk to them? And then ask yourself the question, who am I spending my time with? I had lunch yesterday with one of my brothers in ministry. And I just told him, I said, bro, you got to jump. You got to start something else. You got to do this. I said, now understand, if we're going to have lunch, you know I'm always going to say jump. He said, that's why I speak. That's why I have lunch with you, Jomo. Because I know you're never going to tell me to be passive. You're going to tell me to move. Why? Faith moves. James says in James 2, faith without works is dead. To be in faith, you must make a move. You must make a move. So, who is in your crew that brings out the best in you? Who in your crew brings out the best in you? Spend time with that person. Who in your crew brings you down, discourages you, and zaps your energy? Spend less time with them. Well, I love y'all. I hope this is helpful to you. Have a tremendous day. As you guys know, I've transitioned most of my online stuff to my YouTube page, Jomo Prayer. So make sure you lock in on that because while we're going through the Daniel fast, I'm opening up, but I'm going to get back to strictly on YouTube, Jomo Prayer. I'm done with what I'm talking about, so I'm going to jump into the book. If not tomorrow, I'm going to jump into it on Monday, okay? So if you haven't had a book, go to my website, jomocousins.com, and grab your book, all right? God bless you. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody. Love you to life. Love you to life. This was helpful. Thank you, Nadine. God bless you. Men's and women's meeting Saturday morning, 9 o'clock at the church in the building. All right. Love you to life.